15 minutes. A lot of short times have come in on this one. Bismillahi Makkah. We're not getting to mosque. This is like our midnight mosque.
Age 22, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013 in Barre, Pennsylvania. Michael Ayers, age 2, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013 in Barre, Pennsylvania. Kenneth Ayers, age 2, shot and killed with a gun in Barre, Pennsylvania. Antonio Gray, age 26, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013. Chicago, Illinois. Tremaine Turner, age 30, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013 in Greenwood, South Carolina. Ava Rania Jr., age 70, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013 in Greenwood, South Carolina. Nazriel Boykins, age 2, was shot and killed with a gun on March 22nd, 2013 in Birmingham, Alabama.
Wow.
Name unknown, age unknown, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013 in Paramount, California. Papa Kaylee Ye, age 30, was shot and killed with a gun on March 23rd, 2013.
You getting a workout, Mecca? What you need is some in-between amount. All you do is up and down. Got a interactive toy in the room. Sensors. Oh, it's good for me to bicycle. But I'm not getting my work done. Friday night, Friday. You holding up your own, Mecca? Come on. That's good. Bicycle. Bismillah, Allah Akbar. Good. Come on. Come on. Good. Hi. Good, Mecca. Good evening. Okay. Good evening.
That's a good looking dog.
Yeah, God does good work, doesn't God?
Put a saddle on him.
How you doing, Mecca?
Michael looks tired.
Mecca wants to volunteer and be part of the U.S. Capitol Police Auxiliary Association. Where do we sign up?
Get him a badge. Go to the chief's office.
Okay. Maybe get the reserve officers to form an association also. We can all work together. What do you think, Mecca? You want to come up here on the steps and see what all this hard work can lead to? Look at this view. Look at this view. You like to hunt? Good, Mecca.
What kind of dog is that?
An Afghan hound. There are not so many left anymore. We'd like.
Are they rare, Kazakh?
Yeah.
Many of them around.
Yeah, that's what a couple. Let's see, some guys from Afghanistan, I guess, last week said you don't see many of them. I thought they might have been talking about my schedule and me not showing up for their meetings, but he was talking about the dog. So I said, let's breed them and train them and donate them to Afghan and U.S. villages. Notice the dog stayed down one step for a while before coming up. I don't know why. General Petraeus liked the idea to breed them and donate them to Afghan villages. I said, you'll have to answer a few more questions before we can work together. He said, okay.
What are they used for over there, like primarily?
They guard on the perimeter of the flock. They're not so much like the herding dog, like the collie or the shepherd, but they hunt. I guess was the original thing for the royal family of Afghanistan to go out and tree or corner snow leopards and stuff, and then the people on horseback would show up and finish off the poor wild animal. So they are natural hunters, like to get up on the high ground and stand stock still for a long time, and then they'll get down on the ground level. You can only see their head in the field. You hardly know they're there. And they can run like the wind. Wow, I mean, here across the parking lot like that. Sure, yeah, you train a bunch of these guys to like run up and blow up a building or something, you'd have your hands full trying to stop a half dozen or 10 of these dogs running here all strapped with explosives. Man, you'd have to have a Gatling gun or something to take them out, you know, to strafe the whole area with high millimeter or something. They dart all over the place. Yeah, I got 2 more if you're interested. They're up in the great state of Maine. I got to find a home or do something for them.
Oh, I got my hands full with these dogs.
Ah,
I got 2 pit bulls. That's all I know.
wow.
I don't come with this. It's too big. Like that.
You like all that teamwork, Mecca? See how those guys did that? They changed.
You have big pads?
Yeah, pretty big, but actually looks a lot bigger. You get them wet, and they're an average-sized dog.
Oh, okay. But all that food is just because of the weather over there.
I guess, you know, the Kush Hindu Mountains, but still, I mean, the paw is as big as my 4 fingers.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some, yeah, a greyhound with hair. Depends what side of the mountain they went down. There's a couple of different breeds that came out of it. And their hair is like really soft. It's different from normal dog hair.
Yeah, it looks really soft.
I mean, maybe birds' feathers or something came from this kind of hair. It's really different. Somebody thought they were related to the kangaroo because of the way they jumped in the face and stuff. Did you ever hear about the U.S. Army back in the 50s? They dosed a whole bunch of people, like 50 or 100 people with LSD without telling them because they were worried about what would happen if someone spiked the water supply, and they wanted to see the effect of the drug on people who didn't know they'd been dosed. It's back in the 50s or 60s or something. Yeah. I heard about it at college. So I had been talking with USCP about the way the vehicle was parked over there by the the Dirksen building on the northwest corner over there. They tend to park on the corner with their tailpipe on the sidewalk, and everyone walking by has to breathe the carbon monoxide, and the dogs especially. So I said, why don't you just have them park front in? Then they can idle if they want. I said, you know, I do unified field theory. I hang around with people who can make everything collapse, and people like WikiLeaks admire the kind of work that I do. And it may not seem like a big thing about which direction the car's parked in, but it really influences people who are sensitive about that kind of thing. And we want to win those hearts and minds, you know. We don't want to alienate them. So I noticed these guys are parked differently tonight than they usually are. Usually the red pickup truck has the trailer hitch facing the sidewalk, and the van has the...
They back in, they have to get out of here in the morning.
Yeah. But,
I don't know who the red truck is.
my worst...
Contractors.
Oh, contractor, okay. Workers. So the worst, I always try to blame myself first for things going wrong, and I try to blame my country first so I can look into it and then hopefully reject the suspicion. But if you look at the Boston Marathon thing, that's where all the physicists and electrical engineers and chemists all hang out in this high-powered university town. And if you wanted to enlist the support of those people, what better way to do it than to cause a tragedy and get everybody phoning in and on the internet, looking at the video, working with you, crowdsourcing to find the suspects, kind of training them all. And then the 2 suspects who show up on the FBI tape, they look a lot like students. One's wearing a black hat, one's wearing a white hat. 2 guys earlier get rejected that were wearing blue or something that the kids found on their own by doing the research. They came out with suspects before the FBI did.
Oh, the guy with the double bag?
Is that what it was?
One of the guys had a double bag. And I think they said that they weren't the ones that...
Yeah. See, you know more than...
had a backpack.
Yeah.
That it looked like, they showed the remains of a backpack that blew up.
Yep.
And it looked kind of like the one the guy was wearing, but they said it wasn't the same. I don't know what happened.
He came forward, or they found him?
I guess they followed him. They said he never put it down,
Okay.
so that's why it wasn't him. It was
Ah.
kind of the same looking back. It was black, you know, and there was like a white strip on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah, so my concern would be that, you know, to make sure I could prove that it wasn't the U.S. intelligence community figuring better to kill 200 of our own and get the whole area all behind us looking for suspects all the time than to let things go along with people in that area, they marched against the Vietnam War. That's what I did freshman year. I missed a lot of classes. I went out and marched against the Vietnam. I put an American flag on the back of my military green coat that I had. I sewed it on myself and went to all these marches, met some nice girls that dated and some concerned people, and I ended up joining the final club and being part of the accepted by the establishment, but I always kept that kind of roots. And so it made me wonder, you know, to be sure that we could prove that it wasn't some kind of... A couple of days before the thing happened, one USCP officer I saw was standing, and he was putting his hands behind his back, and he was walking backwards, and then he kind of went up forward a little bit. Then he put his hand behind his back, and he walked backwards. And here I am looking at all these perp walks, like, you know, on the internet, of these suspects going down the sidewalk, and wow, it's just like what the officer was doing, huh? So, yeah, who knows? He might know more than he can say, but
Time will tell.
yeah. One other person, not myself, like your buddy, like you, watched these things, and he said, "Where's the time? There's supposed to be time on the surveillance videos for the stores, the minute and the hour. There's no times on it, and there's no effort to explain why there's no time."
Those were store surveillance cameras?
Yeah, I think that's what they're showing them. Outdoor surveillance camera by the corner of their store. Yeah, but there's no time. There's no thing that says this was an exception that didn't have the time, or we took the time off intentionally so that so that's... Yeah, Mecca was trying to remind me to keep Mecca in the conversation. That's a good idea. Yeah. Then the other day, you guys probably, it's not in your job description, but over here at the Supreme Court, they had a social party with parking valets and black tie affair in the courthouse itself. And I had just read on the internet about former President and General Musharraf of Pakistan being denied permission to run for the parliament or the Congress over there. He wanted to get back into politics the way like Vladimir Putin did in Russia. But the court wouldn't let him. And the Supreme Court said he couldn't. They upheld it. And I said to these guys who were parking cars, I said, you know, wouldn't former President and General Musharraf reasonably misunderstand having a social party at our courthouse that these guys are all getting together and plotting about how to make sure he can't run for public office? And they didn't say anything. She said, "Can I take a picture of your dog?" I said, "It's a free country. Help protect it." And so she took a picture. But then the next day, like maybe today that was, or that the news was that President General Musharraf had fled Pakistan because the court was going to actually arrest him and take away his freedom. He got a prize from India, of all places, a few years ago when I pointed out that his unfair treatment of the Chief Justice, I guess, of the Pakistan Supreme Court, he had removed him from office by an executive order or something. And all the lawyers came out and protested against General Musharraf, the president, for being illegal and unfair. And I pointed out, what better way to get plaintiffs instead of terrorists? You get all your lawyers coming out saying, that's not right, you didn't use the legal system. And then after that got around India, who hates or is in conflict with Pakistan really severely and over Kashmir and the border, they invited Musharraf over to their country and gave him an award. So, if they had a random list or something that they invited the guests from all the members of the bar had an equal chance or something, and then they get a certain number of invited guests, maybe, but I've never heard any effort to explain it. And that makes it difficult for people like yourselves to protect the place. Same way they should take like Olympic thinker drug tests over there, because they face the same temptations as the Olympic athletes, right? They got these heavy duty cases, they got to read them, they got to come up with opinions, they got to do all this.
They got to stay awake.
Yeah. They got to endurance, so they got to stay awake. So they should be able to get a prescription. Like the Olympic athletes can take a certain amount, but not more than that. They ought to be able to qualify to take a certain amount and have the doctor checking them, and then maybe we'd get a more sane drug policy all the way down the chain. And again, that would make your job more reasonable. You guys have to take drug tests. I don't think the justices do. And it was really insulting. One time I was at the metal detector with one of the chiefs of police over there years ago, and this woman comes in with a gift-wrapped package, like yay big. And she goes through the metal detector, and she says, am I going to have to unwrap this? No one had said anything up to this point, like they were just going to look the other way. But she wanted to make the point while I was there, maybe. And the chief or something, he just was, you could see him doing isometrics to not, and she ended up, she said, it's for Justice Scalia. You can imagine, people bringing in some cocaine or something for the judge to be able to stay alert and wrapping it up, and because they're knowing and everything, they can slip it in. So she did end up going in without having to open it. Where we're all going in through this one entrance down here now. But that's another story. Hi. What is it? Oh, you want a treat? Okay, we'll get you one of them. What else do you want? You're keeping me exercising. Yeah. Sometimes won't take one though. Wouldn't take the treat earlier today. Independent streak.
The blue. Huh?
Good, Mecca. Okay, Mecca. I guess we're all getting ready to go.
Good. Well, take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too. Who?
How's Mecca doing? Good?
How are you doing, Mecca? Able to stop on a dime?
Looks good to me.
Well, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Glad to hear it. And how's your family doing?
You're good.
All right.
They are good. Yours? Everything all right?
Oh, I got to get published to keep up with them. I'm going to ask, well, I did ask my doctor if I could get a prescription for some Adderall.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to be a really study drug.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, keep you awake and alert and focused so you can write term papers and stuff. So my blood pressure was a little high, but thanks to Mecca and the bicycle, I think I've got it kind of under control. Maybe she'll let me try it for a week or a month or something. I check in with her every 10 days or something and hopefully pull a lot of these loose ends together, because it's easy out here talking with you guys. It's a lot of fun. You get back in that room alone, and it's you and the internet and all the undone stuff. It's in the pack, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, the pack makes me think of the idea that came up to have a voluntary, to give people incentive to scan their backpacks while they're in the area. If we opened up the west front terrace again, put outdoor metal detectors on it, then, hey, you want to see a beautiful view, man? Let's go over here. I can't, I got my pack. No, you can go through the metal detector. They'll let you stand out there now. Hey, yeah, let's try it, man. Okay, I'll get some good pictures.
That's an idea.
Voluntary incentives, you know? I don't know if we could make it like the Empire State Building where you could walk up on top of the elevator shafts and get a nice view. And
That'd be frowned upon here.
yeah, that should be for you guys out there.
Should be.
So, yeah, that's what the pack makes me think of. Okay, Mecca, what else do you like? How's everything?
Going.
Going? All right.
So good.
Good.
Can't complain.
Um,
At least the weather's getting nicer for you.
yeah, one officer said May is when all the wing nuts start coming out, though. So you got to be extra alert.
Oh yeah.
You ready to go, Mecca? Is there any reason we should not leave this area now?
I think Mecca's ready.
Okay, then. We'd like to get a U.S. Capitol Police Auxiliary so Friends of can volunteer, and then Mecca could actually get some duty.
That'll be cool. Never know.
Yeah, I'll try to ask the office of the chief, maybe get the reserve officers to form an association and then have an auxiliary and get cross-pollination.
There you go.
Good, good. You hear that, Mecca? Yep, be safe. Whoa, what's up, Mecca? You're going to look back and remember. Good. We owe prayers. That's good, Mecca. Hello. That's good. Okay, Mecca. Good job. Good, Mecca. we've got to try to go to bed and wake up to be on a schedule. There's only 2 weeks left in the month. Come on. That's good, Mecca. Good. Good, Mecca. Some biking, a lot of talking. How you doing, Mecca? Come up here. That's good. That's good. Good morning. Good, Mac. Micah. That came up. Granite. Micah. Who else calls you Micah? Mickey. Cross-reference Delbert. That's good. You're good, Mac. That's gonna. Good. We didn't handle the gun thing and the social security number with a USCP. So we got some exercise after 2 days of tough going. Who's this, Mecca? You see a person here? That's good. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening for you.
Well, thank you. Here's beautiful. That's what you get called a lot. Spring. Here's confidential. From whose office? And you're still interested in the outdoors. And I've got to do my own work. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.